Hello and welcome to a discussion of the issues of Campaign 2008. I'm Chris Kiergaard. With me today are representing the Republican viewpoint, Lee Newcom, and representing the Democratic viewpoint, Jeff Hall. Our topic today is Iraq and the war there. Senator McCain opposes scheduling a troop withdrawal in Iraq, saying the latest strategy is succeeding. He supported the decision to go to war, but was an early critic of the manner in which the war was being conducted. He was a key backer of the troop increase, the surge, and is willing to have a permanent U.S. peacekeeping force in Iraq. Senator Obama spoke out against the war at the start and opposed the troop increase, the surge. He voted against one major military spending bill in May 2007. Otherwise, he has voted in favor of money to support the war. He says that his plan would complete withdrawal of combat troops within a 16-month period. He had initially said a timetable for completing withdrawal would be irresponsible without knowing the facts that he would face in office. Mr. Newcomb, the Republican viewpoint.
The war in Iraq was, whether you agree or disagree with the entering into it, and I think a lot of people would agree, and I am one of them, that the war was very badly managed. In fact, in 2006, we came to the point that the United States was looking at a debacle, at a defeat, at a civil war in Iraq. It was a very, very bad situation. One of the reasons we got into that situation, one of the critics of the situation that led us to that was in fact John McCain. John McCain, as you know and mentioned in your own remarks, was adamantly opposed to the Bush strategy. He believed the war was being conducted wrongly. His military experience told him that. It really harkened back to the days of 1986, I believe it was, when he was a new congressman and one of his idols was Ronald Reagan. Reagan committed troops into Lebanon, and John McCain, as a new congressman, took the rather remarkable, courageous political stand of voting against President Reagan because he knew that committing troops in the wrong way would lead to many dying, and in fact that did happen. McCain was right then, and he was right now. The problem with Iraq now is that we're there, and we have to look at the situation and say, who has the strategy that will be most successful? Iraq went from almost a stunning defeat to now a stunning victory. All of the reports say that Iraq is a country that is succeeding and succeeding incredibly today. This is a real success story. It's not a success story because of the Bush administration, and they've done some things right recently in Iraq. It's a success story because of the American troops that are there. Michael Yon's writings and his book that came out about 6 months ago, Moment of Truth in Iraq, tell the story of how the U.S. troops have turned this thing around. We have got the most incredible young people in the world in uniform over there, and they are revolutionizing Iraq and Iraqi local government. Now the question is, do we let them keep doing the job that they're doing so well and turn this into an incredible ally and a real victory for our values of democracy and freedom and peaceful rule of law? Or do we allow this to descend into chaos right when it was so successful? Senator Obama has flipped and flopped on this one, and he seems to indicate that it's 16 months now. But we all know that in a situation like that, just as it is dramatically different today than it was 2 years ago, it may be different in 16 months. And the worst thing you want to do is tell your enemy, if you just hold off for 16 months, we're going to hightail it out of here. I think that Senator Obama has shown an attitude which is immature. It lacks understanding of the military situation. Here's a man with zero military experience who didn't say he will consult with the real experts. He instead, in the beginning, was talking about his opinion on what to happen, and he has zero military experience. I want to go with a tested and proven leader who has shown that he is correct on these issues, who has shown that he has good and sober judgment, and who will represent our country the best in terms of making the best decisions in how we end this situation and end it successfully. And that's why I support Senator McCain's positions.
Senator Obama does consult with the Army. As far as the Army Chief of Staff, General George Casey, basically said in March, today's Army is out of balance. The current demand for our forces, it's basically straining our forces. Obama's more of a realist when it comes to this, and he wants change, because it's just not working. Stay the course is not working anymore. We have to be realists about this. Since the surge began, more than 1,000 troops have died. You know, that's That bothers me personally. Friends of mine have been deployed since the surges happened. Friends of mine were deployed before, when 2003, when the actual war started, or when actual operations started. You know, Bush gets up there and says mission accomplished. You know, you talked about how it was successful and then it was near failure. The problem was we haven't been led to believe that it's near failure at all, like near failure, because you know the Republicans in office have been saying no, we stay the course. There's improvements. We're doing better. That's not good enough. We have to start turning this over to the Iraqi leaders. We need to give them accountability, and by us redeploying, getting our soldiers out of there, and maybe applying them to Afghanistan. That would probably help the situation, because one, it gives accountability to Iraqi leaders, and Obama supports that. More than 1.7, more than actually 1 million servicemen and women have served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and 620,000 troops have completed multiple deployments. Okay, out of that 620,000, those are friends of mine, friends of yours. Let's stop breaking these families apart. Let's bring this home. There's so many parallels to Vietnam at this, you know, and I'm not saying this is another Vietnam. I'm saying there's so many parallels to Vietnam. And we've got McCain on one side using this Nixonian approach, saying we've got to stay the course, let's keep trying, let's keep our servicemen and women there. And Obama on the other side is taking the new approach, is saying, you know what, let's start changing it. Let's start giving Iraqis accountability, all right? Let's start making them realize that they may lose their country, you know, if they don't take this accountability. Now, I'm not saying pull out all at once and then leave kind of this debacle like, you know, India and Kashmir, things like that. I'm saying we have to do a slow redeployment, focus basically special forces, things like that in Afghanistan, go after the real terrorists. We went into Iraq under false pretenses, and you didn't dwell on that in the beginning, and that's fine, but that's the heart of this. We should not have been there. And now that we're there, we're kind of stuck there. And so I know a lot of oil companies, they like this instability in the region because they can jack with our oil prices. I'm tired of it personally, and I want change, and Obama is all for change. He is basically saying, let's redeploy, let's bring some of them home. Each, I think it's 1 or 2 regiments or brigades, I think a month. And by 2010, that's when they'll all be out, leaving behind kind of a special group to basically still somewhat provide governmental advice, things like that. But other than that, we need to give the country back to Iraq. It's not our country.